Welcome back. It's April the 13th, everybody. I always await it. National Half-Life Blue Shift Day.
It's not in the game's actual release date in June because Valve hates the letter J. That's why they didn't call it Jaff-Life. I think I've made it clear from my Half-Life 3 episode that I absolutely love the Half-Life games, although I still intend to devote episodes to them. The spin-offs, on the other hand, are quicker to get through, so I'm at least doing this one right now. Half-Life Blue Shift was developed by Gearbox Software as an extra addition to their later cancelled Dreamcast port of Half-Life. After that was cancelled, it got turned into a separate expansion, and packed in with it was the high-def model pack that updated character models for the original game.
I do not like the high-def model pack that updated character models for the original game.
I just generally think that a completely separate team that was merely being overseen by Valve shouldn't be allowed to dictate how the game will look by default for the next 22 years. Everything else I have against it is merely just down to personal preference. I am fine with it in regards to Blue Shift, of course. I like this game having its own visual style, and it's awkward to turn off here since there are a couple completely new characters that don't mesh well visually with the original game's models.
Much like the other expansion Gearbox did for Half-Life, Blue Shift takes place during the events of the original game, but of course, from another perspective.
Barney Calhoun is who you'll play as in this game. You'll probably be familiar with the name given he's made a major character in Half-Life 2, and you meet hundreds of his clones in the first. The specific Barney this game chooses to deem true Barney is the one you see banging on the door in the intro sequence of the original game. You can actually catch Gordon twice in the opening of this game, once at the very start as you see him running to catch the train, and again you see him pass you on a train once you arrive at the aforementioned door. It's very interesting to see how this game intercepts with Half-Life, and that's mostly the appeal of its story, because without that, it is very bare bones. You aren't a scientist, you aren't important, you're some security guard, and you just want to get the hell out of here, as well as saving a couple people along the way. The story doesn't get much more complicated than that. Blue Shift is, at the end of the day, a glorified map pack for Half-Life. No new weapons, so I might as well talk about these maps. They're well designed. I tend to enjoy how much they try to push the architecture of Black Mesa here. It shows a much more casual side of the facility, and the architecture fits that. Food courts, arcade areas, firing range. It's a lot less cold compared to the one break room and scattered vending machines in the side of Black Mesa that Gordon has to explore. Besides what it does for Black Mesa itself, it's nothing special, more of what you'd expect without really doing anything interesting or of note. You'd think they'd do literally anything the fact you aren't in an HEV stew, maybe do something like what Halo 3 ODST would go on to do for the Halo series. But nope, you are effectively as powerful as you would be if you were to be playing as Gordon Freeman with a full hazardous environment suit, despite the fact you are literally just wearing a vest and helmet.
Something I actually appreciate about Blue Shift is its bite-sized length. It's something you could just get through in an afternoon. Also, its short length means that environments don't get nearly as boring as they do in the original Half-Life.
I find it to be kind of like a Half-Life abridged in that aspect. It's the complete progression of Half-Life, all its environments, weapons, most of its story, heavily condensed into a small little game. It's like Half-Life in a rush, but I wouldn't be expecting much more out of it. If you want a little experience to slightly further the world of Half-Life, and just more of that game in general, Blue Shift is a game I'd seriously recommend. If you would rather have something that does actually change things up a considerable amount, there's another expansion pack that I'd say would be right up your alley.
It's opposing force. The expansion pack is opposing force.